Hello crafters, I'm JanB and I'm an independent Stampin' Up demonstrator. Today I'd like to show you how I made this Peekaboo card. As you open the card, that slides and the balloon comes through. I was asked if I would do a video on how to make a Peekaboo card by one of my subscribers, so I went on to YouTube to find out how they're done, and I found several different methods. I decided to do this one because I felt that this was, well, it was the one that I liked best, and this I found on France Martin's channel. That's Frenchy, so all credit goes to Frenchy for this beautiful card. So to start off with, I'm going to tell you the card pieces that you're going to need. I did find it a little bit confusing, to say the least, so what I have done is I have numbered mine 1, 2 and 3, so that will tie up with numbers 1 and 2 on these pieces and 1, 2 and 3 on these pieces. I just found it so much helpful putting these on, and obviously I've got the inches and the centimetres here, but I will run through them with you. I'm using Watermelon Wonder as my main colour. This measures 8.5 inches by 5.5 inches, which is 21.5 by 14 centimetres. That's number 1. Number 2 is 8.25 inches by 5.5 inches, which is 20.9 centimetres by 14 centimetres. Number 3 is 5.5 inches by 5.75 inches, which is 14.6 centimetres by 14 centimetres. And then for the designer series paper, which is called Carried Away, which is one of the items that you can choose as a gift from the Sale-a-bration catalogue until the end of March. It's our special promotion that we're running, and for every £45 you spend before delivery charges, you can choose a gift from the Sale-a-bration catalogue, and this set of designer series paper is one of them. This is another design from this set as well. So this is number 1, and it measures 4 1/8 by 5 3/8 inches, which is 10.4 by 13.7 centimetres. This goes with number 2, which is 5 3/8 by 5 3/8 inches, which is 13.7 centimetres by 13.7 centimetres. We only need 2 pieces of designer series paper there. And then the Whisper White for number 1, we need a piece that's 4 1/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 10.4 by 13.7 centimetres. And for piece number 2, it needs to measure 2 5/8 inches by 5 3/8, which is 6.6 centimetres by 13.7 centimetres. And for number 3, we need a piece that's 5 3/8 inches by 5 3/8 inches, which is 13.7 centimetres by 13.7 centimetres. And then for the little frames around the circles, you need 3 pieces that are about 3 inches by 3 inches. If you've got a piece like this, you can get away with 8 5/8 inches by 2 3/4 inches, which is 22 centimetres by 6.9 centimetres. Okay, so what I'm going to do first is I'm going to do my scoring. So I will bring my scoreboard up. Right, using piece number 1, which is our 8.5 by 5.5 inches, we're going to score that at 4 1/4. That's 4 1/4 there, which is 10.7 centimetres. And on piece number 2, which is our 8 1/4 by 5.5 inches, we're going to score this at 2 3/4 inches, which is 6.9 centimetres. Okay, so it's 2 3/4. Just move these up a bit. 2 3/4. And then number 3, which is 5.5 by 5 3/4, we need to score at 1/4 of an inch. And because this is so close in measurements, do make sure that you have the 5 3/4 here, not the 5.5. Okay, so 5 3/4, and we're going to score at 1/4. Okay, so that's all the scoring we need to do. Now we are going to fold and burnish these. And just make sure that everything lines up. I can take one of these off. Oh, I've left myself with centimetres, that's unusual. Right, now this one is a bit more tricky to fold, so if you just do it very gently, and then as you get this over, what I found is best is just to do little bits of burnish as you go along. My first one, I just went all the way along, and I'll show you what happened, which is why I say just do this a little bit at a time. Right, here's the one that I did all in one go, and it tore across here, and it really has made it weak. It's okay. I will probably try using that because it's going to have glue on one side, and I can possibly put tape on the other, but I don't know. Right, so that's the folding and burnishing done. I've written this all down so that I don't get it in order. Now we're going to adhere our pieces together. So I'm going to start with the designer series paper. Now piece number 1 goes with that one, and piece number 2 goes with this one. Okay, so that's this one. So if you've got your fold going like that, this needs to be on there. I'm not taking all of my notes off. As I say, I did find it really helpful to get them labelled 1, 2 and 3. Just line that up so you've got a nice little edge all the way around. Okay, and this one goes on number 1. Okay, number 1. So this one goes on the inside here. As you see me go through these and sort all these pieces out, I'm sure you're going to agree that it's worth doing the 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's that one. Now we're going to do the Whisper White pieces. So that's number 1, that's going on that one, that's number 2, that's going on there, and that's number 3. Right, so we do number 3 first. I'll put that on the back. We don't need these two. So this is going to be going on here. You could use snail or fast fuse. But if you do, make sure that with these 2 pieces, numbers 1 and 2, you put glue over quite a lot of the area because you're going to be die cutting circles out of them, and you don't want them just to be adhered around the edges so that your circle starts falling open. But I'm going to turn that upside down for a minute. Sometimes I find it easier to get my layers done with that, with the edge over this side. Okay, so that's that piece. This one, no, not you. This one goes on here. So I'm not going to need you to stay on anymore. Okay, this is another piece that's going to have a circle cut out of it, so just make sure there's glue over quite a bit of the area. It doesn't have to be solid, but no big gaps without glue. There we go. So that's that one, and then this one, take those off. Now this, what you need to do is turn this sheet over and put that on there. Turn that upside down. That's good. Okay, so I've still got 1, 2 and 3. So now what I need to do, I think, is to start cutting the holes. So let me move that out of the way. Now oh no, holes first, and then I'll do the circles, the frame thingies. Right, so get my big shot. I think I'm going to take you out a little bit. That's better. Right. Now for the first cut you're going to need piece 2, and that's the one with the little flap on it. So what you're going to need to do, let's take that number 2 off now. You need a hole down here somewhere. This is where you're going to see your greeting through. So if you keep your flap closed, and you need to use the layering circle dies, and I'm using the straight cut number 5, and I count mine, I start from the smallest, so that's number 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. And with the scallop one you need number 6, and again I start with the smallest one, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, so that's 5 and 6. Now start off with, I'm only using the straight cut, and you need to make sure you do not go past that line. Okay, what I tend to do is just let the edge of the die come up at the edge. The cutting line is on this inside. Now what I do is, for the position, I just try and get the gap there the same as the gap there. Okay, I don't take a ruler to it or anything. That looks close, so I'm happy with that. And then what I do is just open that up, put my top cutting mat on, and then cut that out. So for the next piece, I'm going to take this one, which is number 1, and to decide where I want to cut the hole here, I want my card to be like that. Okay, so to line this up, what you need to do is line up like that. It's probably easier if you keep it closed. Okay, so that's all lined up nicely, and then once you've got that into place, take your pencil and draw a circle. Okay, now we're going to cut through here. Now the dies will not go through 3 lots of cardstock and 1 layer of designer series paper, but, and on this also I recommend that you use post-it notes to hold this, because there is so much there. So if I take one piece, 2 pieces, now just pop that onto your pencil mark. Okay, once you're happy it's in place, just pop your post-it notes on there. Now this you can't open up. What's going to happen is, as you go through, as this goes through, there's going to be so much pressure on it, it's going to leave a really, really good impression, and this is stiff to do this bit, it's going to leave a really good impression on the layer underneath, so it's going to be easy to cut the next piece. Okay, so I'm going to remove my post-it notes. If you find that you've got bits and pieces left on here, don't worry, because that's going to be stuck to another sheet. Okay, so that should pop out. Okay, got that one. I wonder if I can just remove that without too much of a fight. Yes. So now on this side you can see the impression of the circle. Don't know if you'll see it on camera. Yes, you can. Okay, so what happens now is when you put your die onto that circle, you'll feel it slip into place. Okay, that is right inside the circle. So I'm not going to put post-its on that. Just hold it down until it's got a grip, and then push it through, and then that comes out really nicely. So you should find that all 3 of these are going to line up really nicely. Okay, so what happens is, once that is glued together and you open your card up, that piece will slide underneath. Right, so that is finished cutting the cards, but now we need 3 of these. And what I do to make these is, with my 2 dies, okay, come on, where are you? I know it was here a moment ago. Yes, here it is. Okay, so for one of these, you can pop that on there. And then for another one, you can pop that here. Just make sure you leave enough here, because you're going to bring this one over here once it's cut out. Okay, So now those two are on there. If you do it like this, it means you can get it done in 3 cranks through. Okay, so that's one. Okay, so you've got that, which is spare, which gets saved for another project. Now I'm going to put two, yes, that's right. I'm going to put that on there to cut that one through. Not too close to this, otherwise I'm not going to have room to do that one. And then I'm going to put that one in the centre to cut the circle out. I do prefer to cut the circle out first and then put that on top of it, but I'm just showing you a quicker way of doing it. Okay, so that's that one. And then that's going to go on top there. That should have cut that one out. Okay, still got the circle there. Save that one. And for this one, I'm going to pop that on there. Okay. The reason I prefer cutting the circle first is I find it easier to line that bit up. You got more space rather than that one. But it's one of those things, a matter of choice, or you're not bothered. If you're not bothered, then this is the quickest way to do it, definitely. Right, now I've got 2 sets because I had already done 3 of those. So there's that one. And there's that one. And that I'm not going to bother keeping. Put the dies over there and move my big shot out of the way. Right, now first things first, we're going to, let me just check my list, make sure. I think we're going to put these 2 together. Yep. So we need to put glue on here, and when you're, whatever adhesive you use, just make sure that again you put adhesive around the circle. There's no more cutting to be done, but you just want to keep the 2 together. There we go. And to get these lined up best way, it's to have this upside down like this, have this one upside down like this, and then marry them up like this. Okay, I'm not going to try and do it from that angle, otherwise I'll get myself in to an 8. I just wanted to show you which way I'm doing it. Okay, so I've lined all of that up. It's going to be finished like that. How come I've managed to do that? I've made it slide over. I put it down too high too soon. Never mind, I can use my adhesive eraser for that. Okay, so just make sure that is really well stuck down. So that's that bit. I'll keep that open. Right, cut the circle with the closed card. Alright, okay, so what you need to do now with these 2 pieces, with your card open, again, with your pencil, draw a circle there. Okay, and another place, we'll do that other circle in a moment. So for this circle, I'm let's see, what one is this? This is the one that comes over the top, which is the balloon. So I have the balloon on here, and the balloon is from the Lift Me Up stamp set. I'm using this one at the moment. I will use that one as well shortly. And the birthday greeting is from Better Together. I'm using this one, and that's a 2-box set. Brilliant set that is, covers all sorts of things: Christmas, sympathy, wedding, birthday. Right, and I have got my Stampin' jig all set up, and the balloon just about fits in there beautifully. Okay, so I'm going to put that on there, and my balloon stamp, and I'm using our archival basic grey ink, which I inked up yesterday, having been caught out on my wedding card with a poorly inked pad. I'm determined that that won't happen again. Right. There we go. So that's the balloon on that one. Now, in fact, while I'm stamping, what I'm going to do is I'd like to do a little balloon up here as well. So this is my little one. So I'm happy with that. Now with this one, I think this is what I would say the only tricky bit that there is. And I'm going to, with this, fold that one back, and that has to line up on there. Yep, that's right. I think you can go now. Now I'm using Tombow for all of my gluing, and I do recommend it on this project, but if you want to use fast fuse, obviously it's your choice. Okay, so I don't want too much on here, and because this is such a narrow piece, it is a bit fiddly to do. So what I have found the easiest for me is, once I've got that piece like that, then I line this one up on top of it. Okay, so this is going right up to the very edge of the score line. Just going to give it a few minutes to, well, a few seconds to let Tombow do its job, and then that will work beautifully. And give that a little squeeze. A little bit of Tombow coming out there, but I don't think that's a problem. Right, so now what we do is put that one back, pop that back. So this is our card, okay? We've got our balloon there. Now we need to do our happy birthday in there. So again, draw a pencil circle in there. Open this one up. And again, this sentiment really just about fits in here. So I have my Stampin' jig ready again. This is a beautiful font, I love this. I think partly because it doesn't have to be absolutely spot on straight. It's what I call a relaxed font. Okay, so that's that in place. And again, archival basic grey ink. Beautiful. Okay, so that's all the stamping I need to do. And before I try taking that pencil mark off, I'm going to be putting the frames on my circles. Not that one, that's on the back, but let's do the pencil mark on this one first. This will be plenty dry enough. I may come back later and actually colour this balloon, I'm not sure. There we go. So to put on our frames, I'm going to use my silicone mat. Again, if you want to use snail or fast fuse, you can do. Oops, it's gone off the edge there. Now let's do the one that went off the edge. I want that on the front of my card. If it's sticky, it's going to be easier to remove the glue. Okay, so that's that one. Let's do one on here. And then the other one's going on the white piece. Okay, now this is where I'll write my greeting. Okay, so that is that. Everything is done apart from, once I've removed this pencil mark, I want to show you how you can adhere this together. I'm going to show you how open the card is. I'm not totally happy about it, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to adhere the one down, the green one that I've shown you, because I'm going to send that to my granddaughter. I'm going to put her name on the front using our large letter dies, and then inside the card I'm going to put 13th because she becomes a teenager. Okay, so that's like that. Now, as I open and close this, there is absolutely no catching on that at all. It runs really smoothly. Okay. There's no catching, but the card is like this, which I'm not totally happy about it, and it can be fixed, but it will make a bit of a clicking noise. So if I can find what I did with my green card, I will show you what, this is the one for Molly, so I'll put her name on here and I'll put 13. Not quite sure where I'll do it, but it'll be there somewhere. What you can do is put a little bit of tape down there. Now it's not going to close it totally, it's just going to hold this bit towards the front of the card, and you can either use snail, in fact I'll use snail, as I've done snail all the way, or you could use a very narrow red sticky strip. Our sticky strip is a bit too wide for what you need. I think this was 1/4 inch. yes, this is 1/4 inch if you wanted to use tape. But otherwise, just put some, again, Snail fast fuse, or best of all Tombow. Just put it all the way down on that 1/4 inch that you've folded. And then just close it. Okay, just give Tombow a chance. That little mark there that you can see on the back of my card, I had a post-it note on there, one of those little strips, and it stuck too hard. I pulled it too quick. So again, this is for my granddaughter, so I'm going to decorate the back of it for her. Right, that should be alright now. Okay, I'm not going to pull it too far, but you can see it's at least holding it now, which I think is better. But if you listen, oh, it's not working. It's not making a noise. Oh, I wonder why that is. Okay, previously when I've done them and I've done this, there's been making a clicking noise, but this has worked perfectly. I'm really pleased with this. Oh, okay. There you go then. Something that doesn't normally work for me has worked for me. Always the way with when I've got an audience. Why they can't work like that when I'm on my own, I just do not know. But there you go. Brilliant project. I'm really, really pleased with this. Thank you very much for the inspiration, Frenchie. It's absolutely superb. If you have any questions or any comments to make, you can either leave a note in the comments box below, or you can email me at janb@janbcards.com. If you'd like to purchase any of the products that I featured here today, again, if you click on the show more sign at the bottom there, it'll open the box up and I'll put a link to my 24/7 online Stampin' Up shop. Don't forget that we are going through Sale-a-bration until the 31st of March 2017, which means for every £45 you spend, you can choose a gift from the Sale-a-bration catalogue, and that's what this designer series paper is. It's beautiful paper, really lovely. And if you've enjoyed my video, please subscribe to my YouTube channel by clicking on the subscribe button. I will be putting all the measurements and the products that I've used on the screen. Again, if you're watching on a device you can't see that, if you click on that show more link at the bottom, the box will open up and I'll have all of the details that you need down there. As I say, I'm going to do this one for my granddaughter for her birthday, and what I will do is once I've finished doing the video, I will carry on and I'll do it, and then I will put a photograph of this on my blog tomorrow morning, or at least the same day that I post the video, in case you're looking at this 2 or 3 months later. Okay, so many thanks for joining me today. Until next time, happy crafting. Cheerio.